right, everybody, welcome back live at Drew's house. Another edition. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving and all that good stuff as we make the turn. Last show of November. November went by very fast, and here we are, December knocking on the door in the holidays. So I hope you're all doing well. My guest today is somebody I tend to talk to around this time of year. Christian Teja joins us from the Mass Lottery. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me, Drew.
Good. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Go well?
Very well, thanks. Yep, just exercising off the last few remaining calories.
That takes another week or two for me. I overdid it a little bit as usual. Gonna play a little more basketball.
I hear you.
Where did you travel?
I stayed local here, right here in Holbrook.
Oh, beautiful.
Small gathering, trying to still be safe here.
Very good. I want to talk, usually we talk a lot about scratch tickets and gifts for the holiday season. We'll get into all that. I do want to mention I know we've talked about it in a separate forum, but this is for a whole different audience. This great story of the guy who had open heart surgery a month ago. What a great lottery story.
Yeah, really amazing story. A gentleman down in Attleboro who informed us that he had heart surgery earlier this month, and he played one of our cash word games, which is, well, I should note that he received the several tickets in a get well card from one of his friends, and that one of them was a cash word ticket, which is kind of like the crossword puzzle games where you reveal the words, and depending on how many words you get is what prize you win. And so he starts off by uncovering the your letters section, and the first three letters are A, F, W, I believe it was, and it was his initials. It's his initials. So right off the bat, he's thinking this could be a lucky ticket. He proceeds to scratch the tickets, starts matching up more words, and the word on the final line of the puzzle was heart. And so he matched 11 out of 11 words, wins the $1 million prize. And what a great story, and so happy for him, given what he had been through earlier in this month. And interestingly, the friend who had given him this ticket had given him a ticket a number of years ago as a birthday gift, and the guy had won $1,000 on the ticket. So a lucky friend for sure.
That is one good friend, man. Absolutely. You guys love hearing those stories around the holidays. I've always actually wondered, I mean, you can't make this stuff up, but I've often wondered, like, when somebody does buy a big winning ticket, like, does that get weird at all? Like, have you heard stories about this where, like, so what do we do? Do we split that now, or?
You don't really hear too much because you don't know what they might, I don't know, like in this particular case. So, sometimes there'll be a winner would be straightforward and say, yeah, I'm going to share this with my friend, or we buy tickets together. So we always split our winnings, and sometimes they indicate like that. But you do get the gift giving, especially after the holidays. One of the questions we always ask people when they do come in with a prize is kind of, how you got the ticket. Was it a gift, especially on the holiday tickets? Because it's always a nice story to tell. We like, as part of our advertising, always we suggest that it's a great gift idea for a lot of people. It's kind of a one size fits most in most occasions, and at different price points. So a lot of people do give them as gifts, and so we like to note that could turn into a big prize for a friend or loved one.
That would have been a good story if the guy didn't have open heart surgery a month ago. Never mind the fact that it says heart as one of the payoff words at the end. My goodness.
Yeah, I mean, that was just it's a publicist's dream for sure. It was an easy story to write, and as you can imagine, has gotten a lot of media attention thus far.
So speaking of those, let's talk a little bit about the always a big time of year for scratch tickets. I know for me, it's always kind of my if I am late, if I don't know what to get, it's always a safe play. It's just a very safe gift for people. Nobody's ever angry about getting scratch tickets.
Most people do enjoy receiving scratch tickets. We kind of have a little fun with it, talking about in a Yankee swap. You'll see something on our social media where we're kind of going through people's mindsets as they're looking over the gifts and what they want and don't want. And I think you're right. It's a kind of a gift that people are usually enthused to receive, because it's an opportunity to get more than the maybe $10 or $20 that was the suggested buy-in for the Yankee swap. But one thing we do always remind people is that the lottery tickets are for people 18 or older. And when it comes to gift giving, same thing, 18 or over. And that's something that's a message that we put out there. We join other lotteries across the country. We partner with the Mass Department of Health's Office of Problem Gambling Services, and they have a campaign that's going on. We're talking about, the risks of underage play and just reminding people, especially at the holiday season, while lottery gifts do make great gifts for those 18 or older, they are not appropriate for those under the age of 18.
Yeah, I bet it's easy to think if you're kind of a out of touch aunt or uncle, maybe you don't have kids of your own. Sometimes you forget about that part. You can't give it to 16-year-old Johnny or something.
Yeah, and it's a message we reinforce even further by conducting a holiday toy drive of our own. That's going on through December 13th at any of our regional offices. We have donation bins, and they go to local Toys for Tots campaigns in those areas, or other campaigns in the respective areas. But it's kind of the dual message of, while reminding people that lottery tickets are not appropriate for those under the age of 18, we do encourage people to give unwrapped toys, books, etc., to our holiday toy drive campaign. And our customers always come through and brighten the holidays of those that may be less fortunate than them during the holiday season. So we really appreciate our customers' support of our toy drive. This is the 6th year we've been doing it now, so we're very proud of that effort.
I was going to say that's not necessarily a new thing anymore, the toy drive. Do you remember how did that start? Who came up with it, and who's made it such a thriving thing?
It's a program that other states had done. Lotteries are very, very a lot of camaraderie and collegial environment among lotteries, and so it's something that we had noticed in other states, and a neighboring state, in particular in Connecticut, had done it, and so we got the ball rolling on doing our own, and it's really built into something that's been produced some great results. There's been one person in particular, a family who had won a family member had won a significant prize, and unfortunately that person had passed, but continued on an annual basis, has continued on an annual basis to always contribute to this holiday toy drive. So kind of returning the good fortune that their family had received in lottery prize winnings. And we had a winner just a few weeks ago out in the western part of the state who indicated, when we interviewed them, that we always ask what people intend to do with their prize winnings. And one of the things that she said she wanted to do was to provide hats and gloves and mittens, and donate to homeless shelters, and make the season brighter for those that are less fortunate. So we have we have a lot of great people amongst our customers and lottery prize winners.
Yeah, it must be, especially even, we're still fighting through a pandemic here. So the people that, usually the people that are fortunate enough to play the lottery and all that maybe are a little bit removed. And it's nice to hear some of the winners thinking about those people that maybe are still struggling through, let's face it, what is still a very tough time in the country and the world.
Absolutely. Yeah. But our customers they're everyday people, and then you see them throughout the state, and they're doing generous things that, like many other people in our population do. And we're pleased to have those as our customers, and proud of everything that everyone is doing around the state to help people out at this time of year.
What's has there been a rewarding thing? Just one other toy drive question. I bet every time I hear, people that get involved in these things, it's almost like just as rewarding for the people that, in this case, the gaming commission, that the state lottery, that continue to work for these toy drives. It's something rewarding about giving your time to, and for your coworkers, and must just be a good feeling around the holidays. And obviously 6 years of it. So you've gotten 6 years of that feeling.
Yeah, so our employees have always been generous as well. It's a long-standing program that we kind of inherited, that had been started many years ago. Generous lottery employees over the years, and employees continue to contribute to this drive as well. So yes, definitely very gratifying. I personally often bring some of the toys to the drop-off locations, and the volunteers that are working there are always extremely appreciative. And it definitely is validating. It makes you feel good about doing something good, giving back. Lottery is all about giving back to 351 cities and towns. That's our mission. Last year, giving back over $1 billion for unrestricted local aid for all cities and towns. So the lottery, that's our mission. And at this time of year, we extend that mission to include this holiday toy drive. And as you noted, something we're very proud of.
Again, Christian Teja joining us here at the Massachusetts State Lottery. We've talked about this before in maybe even last year. I can't remember, but that was always fascinating to me. All that money that you guys bring in that goes directly back out. Can you talk a little bit about that process? Because I don't think people necessarily understand how that all works.
Sure, I'll give you kind of the breakdown of kind of every dollar spent on the lottery. It ends up being about 73% that goes to prizes. So people feel good about that. That's the highest in the nation. Our prize payout is the highest of any lottery in the nation. It's one of the reasons why we're the most successful lotteries in the nation, and then and actually in the world. And then also our retailers, our retail partners. It's a big important time of the year for them as well, and not just this time of the year, but all the year round. And they get about 6% of all sales. There's a 5% commission for sales of tickets, and then they get a 1% bonus for selling for the prizes won. So a $1 million winner that we had what we talked about earlier in the show, the agent that sold that ticket gets a $10,000 bonus. So last year was about $333 million that were earned in commissions and bonuses by local retailers. So we have the 73%, we have for prize winners, we have the 6% for the retailers, commissions and bonuses. So it ends up being about 19% for the cities and towns. And last year we did about $5.8 billion in sales, a record, which resulted in $1.112 billion goes back to the general fund, and then it's distributed as unrestricted general government aid. And the majority of that does come from the lottery. A portion of that comes from casino revenue as well. And so that money is distributed. All cities and towns, all 351 cities and towns receive it. And then it's really up to the local administrators and local officials, elected officials, to figure out how to allocate that money in a given year. It could be for public safety or hiring more staffing at schools, snow removal, especially those years where we might get a couple extra snowstorms, crossing guards, programs for seniors. So really, that's the thing, unrestricted. It's really whatever a city or town needs in that particular year. And the lottery's been doing that for over 50. We're approaching our 50th anniversary in 2022.
Wow. How does the lottery celebrate a 50th anniversary?
Well, there'll be more on that to come. We're very excited about that. It's something that we've been talking about already for a while, but we're in the formative stages of it, and working, marketing team working diligently, and we're very excited. There'll be more to come on that. Maybe another opportunity for us to speak.
Hopefully you get to be part of the planning committee. Very good.
Yes, well, the interesting note is, I have to note, so the lottery's first drawing was conducted on April 6th, 1972. And I'm going to give something away here, but that's the day I was born. So it's kind of ironic that here I am representing the lottery. Little did my parents know, or any of us know way back then, about this kind of interesting coincidence and connection that I had with the lottery.
And that's your line of work. There we go. Very good. Well, you're a young man, of course. We can do the math.
Oh, thank you.
How long have you been with the lottery? It's been ever since I can remember. How long has it been?
Yeah, I've been at the lottery for over 7 years now.
7 years. All right. One of the better, I always say, everybody who does the show knows I work in the news business as well. You are one of the best spokespeople as far as communication goes with other organizations. Believe it or not, they're not all that great.
Well, I really appreciate it. I think it's really a team effort at the lottery. I think everyone, we take our job seriously, but we also like to have fun, but be responsible. And it starts at the top with Treasurer Deb Goldberg, who's been treasurer for a number of years now, and really, extends down from leadership down to our executive director and our assistant executive directors, and just throughout the organization. We have a great team, about 400 employees, and we all take pride in our work.
So when we hear that, like, the Powerball winner could be from Massachusetts, you're completely cool with getting the 3 a.m. text messages, right? Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. It broke up for a minute there.
No, sorry. I got you back now, I think. So when we hear that there's like a Powerball winner, you're completely fine with getting the 3 a.m. text messages, right?
Oh, yeah, we welcome those. Well, we had one, 2017. That was quite an experience. We were happy to have at the time a record-setting winner here in Massachusetts, and we'll see. I kind of feel like we're due for a big one pretty soon.
It
Let's
is.
hope.
We've been lucky here with a lot of these communities. There's been some, like you said, some record-breaking winners. What's the bigger? Do you ever get like sick of writing the Powerball story though and stuff? Because I mean that stuff happens fairly regularly countrywide, and then maybe you hit locally. But is it better for you to kind of get that really local story like the guy in Attleboro? Is that what it's really all about?
Yeah, it's a mix. I mean, you know it when the jackpot starts creeping up over $500 million or so, we really start getting the activity and the attention, and people start focusing on the lottery. You hear people talking about it on radio shows, morning radio shows, and certainly helps with the sales. But yeah, it's the stories like these are great examples that just kind of pop up over the course of the year. These coincidental stories. Sometimes a person might have won 10 years ago and they won again, or hearing again like what people want to do with it. There's people who some of the stories that we've seen where people cash the ticket in at the last minute. That we've made it a practice now as we are aware that a ticket is going to expire, that we actively get the word out. We'll contact the store location. We're active on social media. We'll send out a press release. Thankfully, you as good as anyone in your stations are getting the word out on that, and we appreciate that. And then it's resulted in people coming in on the last day or two to claim a prize of $100,000 or $1 million. So those are always exciting and tend to get a lot of publicity and attention as well.
Well, it's always horrifying for me to think that somebody might be sitting there with a ticket that they haven't checked, or I'm sure I don't think you forget about those things, but maybe you didn't check it. And that's usually the case, right? I never checked that gift or whatever.
Yeah. In the most recent case, it was someone, they said they had some tickets in a plastic sleeve in their glove box, I think it was, or desk drawer at home or something. And when they heard the story and their family member said, "Oh, did you hear that story as well?" And that prompted him to take a closer look at all the different tickets, and sure enough, it was a winner.
Wow, it was a news story. We really should have given ourselves more of a pat on the back than that. Interesting.
It was, yeah. I mean, you guys have done a great job getting the word out, and it definitely helped. It has helped produce a couple of winners to bring them forward that might not necessarily have done that. So talk about job satisfaction. So as writing this press release and disseminating that information, and then seeing the person say that, "Oh, without it, I probably wouldn't have come here." That's about as much job satisfaction as you can ever have.
I bet. I don't know if you can accept tips, but they would probably be in line for one. My goodness.
Certainly not. Just happy that they were able to come through and get that prize.
Certainly not is the answer. Yes, very good. Again, Christian Teja, final minute or two with him. What is the other side of that story? Because you guys have had some on your watch expire, right? Some like pretty significant winners that we have no idea.
Yeah, since I've been here, I think it's been 100,000 has been the tops. A number of years ago, before I was there was a Megabucks prize that was in the millions, a few million, back when the Megabucks was kind of the bigger draw game before Powerball and Mega Millions became the real, really like heavyweight games. But that was the biggest one in Massachusetts.
Interesting. All right. And you mentioned all this sales, and I went through all those numbers, and Massachusetts is one of the biggest in the country and in the world as far as participating in the lottery. What do you know with the increase during the holidays? I imagine it becomes the most popular time, right?
It is. It's I think it can range. It depends, because weather can be a huge factor too. So you could be going along great, and then there's a really bad weather weekend. If it's a storm for 2 or 3 days, that can really alter it significantly. So the increase can vary. It could be up to 5%, maybe up to 10% if it's a good year. Right now the sales have been pretty positive thus far. I'll just, if you don't mind, just ring off kind of the tickets we have. We have a winter winnings family of tickets at 3 different price points: $1, $2, and $5. And then we have a game at the $20 price point called Winter Riches, where you can win up to $10 million. And an interesting ticket that we've done for several years now that is a huge hit: Holiday Cash Blowout. It's a $10 ticket, and the only prizes on it are $50, $100, and $500. So the top prize is $500, but it's loaded with $500 prizes. And this game has been so extremely popular. It's become one of the best, if not the best, selling tickets in all of the country in terms of weekly sales. We kind of bring it out around the holidays, and it's just incredibly popular.
Very cool. Yeah, I think people feel more connected to that when there's more winners. You might not hear about the big winner all the time, but when there's a lot of smaller winners, I think that's the whole goal, right?
Yeah, well, especially with that one, you talk about a gift giving idea. There's probably a percentage of the population that doesn't necessarily want to give a ticket that somebody could win $1 million on. But if you give someone a ticket where the top prize is 500 and they win 500, you're probably less likely to feel any type of remorse that someone might feel from having given away an extremely large prize.
Well, very well said. You don't often think about that. I always like to give you the chance. I know you always like to preach this. You mentioned the don't sell the kids. You also say, be responsible. This is just like anything else when it comes to throwing your money around. Just give me that message again one more time.
Sure. The holiday times, it's a gift giving time of the year. And while lottery tickets do make great gifts for many people 18 and older, they are certainly not appropriate for those under the age of 18. It's really important. That's why we stress that message and work with the Office of Problem Gambling Services on a campaign. We really join together throughout the year, and this is something that we really focus on the holidays and really getting that message across. The lottery tickets for 18 plus. Then, as you know, we also talk about that when the jackpots get larger, a different type of responsible gambling message at that time, but talking about just even though the jackpot is high, just making sure people are spending within their means, within their limits. The odds are long to win those top prizes, and just remind people to be mindful of that, encourage people to play responsibly at all times. So we want the lottery to be fun and entertaining for people, and so they can really enjoy it.
There you go. Christian Teja, always informative. Good time to talk with you here as we turn the corner into the big holiday Christmas season and all that. I wish you a happy holidays, and I hope everything's going well there at the State Lottery. Seems like it is.
Thanks, Drew. Yes, happy holiday to you, your family, your listeners, your viewers. Happy holidays to all from the Mass Lottery. Thank you very much.
And when you guys turn 50, I'm sure you'll be letting us know of the plans ahead of time, but let us in on that little secret, will you?
Absolutely. We'll let you know.
Happy holidays, Christian. We'll see you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Drew.
All right, good stuff there. Christian Teja with the State Lottery. Good guy. I've worked with him for several years. News, he represents the lottery, but I meant that when I said that. He's one of those very good communication people with just some are better than others. They either don't have time for you, or they feel like they're doing you a favor, and like really it's kind of a teamwork thing. People forget that with the news. Who forgets that a lot is a lot of the police departments. That we're not there trying to ruin their jobs or ruin their nights or ruin their cases. We're just there trying to inform the public. And there's my little one jab, I guess, of the early holiday season. It's people. You just got to remember, like, usually you're on the same team. It's the news people. Sometimes in this country, people think like the news is becoming the enemy. We won't get into that whole political thing. But my bigger point that Christian Teja is one of the better communication people out there. He really is great. He keeps us posted on all things we need to know, and it doesn't always have to be the really celebratory stories either. Like we got to talk about the good one about the guy who had the heart surgery and wins the lottery ticket a month later. Yeah, he prefers talking about those, but he'll talk about the tough issues and all that stuff as well. So Christian Teja, a good man. We wish him happy holidays, and thanks for coming on the show. A good way to get the week started for us, live at Drew's house. Another edition. We'll be back in studio, I think, next show. Stay tuned. We'll see. Peace.